Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Kent for Monday, May 3rd, 2021. We're brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best dentist that there is, the only dentist I've gone to the last 27 years. Call him. Make him your dentist today. 317-849-2933. Want to remind you, hit subscribe, hit like, ring the bell, do all that stuff. Let's talk about sports. The NFL draft concluded over the weekend. The Indianapolis Colts, their draft did not grade well, according to national media, and who really gives a damn about that? I mean, for goodness sake. The draft is less than 48 hours concluded. Nobody's played a game. We're not going to have any idea whatsoever what kind of NFL player Kwity Paye is going to be, or Dayo Odeyingbo. We don't know. He doesn't have two working Achilles tendons right now. We have no idea how the kid's going to recover, much less get on the field and then compete. When 100%, he's got the ability to change games. If he doesn't get back to 100%, you know what? It was a roll of the dice, and you took a shot on a guy with first-round talent, but at the end of the second round because of that injury. Likely not going to play in 2021. It takes about a year. He tore his Achilles in late January preparing for the Senior Bowl. Other than Kwity Paye, who could be a guy that totals a few sacks as a rookie, it takes time. For edge guys and wide receivers, it takes time to develop your game in the way necessary to really play at a high level. If you look at edge guys historically, they grow into the position, they develop techniques that allow them to get to the quarterback, and then you see great production. So Kwity Paye is a rookie. You know what? A rotational player in all likelihood. Great physical tools, but he's got to learn how to play. He knows how to compete. He does that well. He is a versatile defensive end. He's a guy who is really good at stopping the run, also not bad at getting to the quarterback. So that's who he is. Then with 127th pick, the Colts took Kalen Granson, a tight end out of SMU. What people don't like about him is his ability to consistently catch the football. Not a good thing to not be good at. However, when he does catch a football and he does it in space, he can run away from people. And that's a good thing. Another guy, he's got some holes in his resume, as you would guess for a third rounder, but there are first round traits within him that maybe can be unlocked, and then you kind of lock up those traits that kept him from being a first rounder. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a high ceiling, low floor type of tight end. At 165, they take Sean Green, a safety out of Florida, who's going to be a contributor on special teams immediately. In the sixth round, they took Sam Ehlinger, the quarterback out of Texas, a great competitor, not tremendous arm strength, maybe a candidate to get on the field in a way other than quarterback. A terrific athlete. He can run with the football. He's tough as hell. Again, arm strength a problem at this point. 4-year starter at Texas. That tells you something about Sam Ehlinger. At 229, they took Michael Strachan. He's a wide receiver out of Charleston, 6'5", 224. Big, rangy. His catch radius is ridiculous. Another guy, high ceiling, low floor type guy. It sounds a little bit to me like Deion Kane, who they took a few years ago, kind of in the same spot, similar spot. And then Will Fries, the guard out of Penn State, who's a guy, kind of a Swiss Army knife backup offensive line type candidate. We'll see how this draft plays out in the end. We don't know how it plays out. Everybody giving grades. What the hell? What are we doing? What you really grade, you grade what they did in college, which is not really relevant necessarily in the NFL, and you grade kind of name recognition. Last year with Michael Pittman Jr., we knew that guy. We knew Jonathan Taylor, right? We knew a little bit about Julian Blackmon. We knew Kwity Paye. We were stunned that Odeyingbo was taken in the second round. And then after that, it's a bunch of guys other than Ehlinger who you get kind of excited about because we saw that guy play. So that's a good thing. The best thing about this draft for the Colts is that Chris Ballard didn't mortgage the future. He didn't guarantee a terrible 2022 draft or 2023 draft because of what he took in this one. Now, he did do that a little bit with that trade for Carson Wentz, because if that trade works out the way the Colts hope it will, they're going to be out a first rounder next year. But if it works out the way they hope it will, they will also draft late in the first round or be scheduled to, and that draft pick would then convert to the Eagles because Wentz would have played 70% or more of the snaps. So there you go. Unless they run away with a lot of games and they manage Carson Wentz's snaps and they sit him for periods during blowouts, but that seems unduly optimistic and a little bit shady, frankly, for the Indianapolis Colts. So there you go. Underwhelming, certainly, but we don't know what the outcome of this thing's going to be. We got to be sane about this. Oh my God, they didn't get any better during this draft. How the hell do we know, to be honest? They might have gotten real better. They might have gotten a guy, bookend defensive ends in the same draft who both wind up getting 13, 14, 15 sacks a year. We don't know that Kwity Paye and Dayo Odeyingbo are not going to be those guys. We don't know that. We don't suspect it, but we don't know it, right? So why is the sky falling all of a sudden with the Indianapolis Colts? I was underwhelmed, but we don't know what that means, right? Last year we were overwhelmed, and we were rightly overwhelmed because Jonathan Taylor was a revelation at running back, at least the last quarter of the regular season. And then in the game against the Bills, he was terrific. So we'll see if those players can make a jump up. We'll see if that defense kind of congeals a little bit. They did lose a couple of guys, real important edge rush guys. Justin Houston, not going to be back. Danico Autry, not going to be back. Other than that, the defense kind of come. Anthony Walker, not going to be back. But frankly, what you're going to miss with Anthony Walker's up here and in here. The legs weren't quite fast enough, or he would be back. Pacers, a huge game tonight at Washington. They play against the Wizards, 7 o'clock. Sabonis was back Saturday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was a good thing. They are 1.5 games clear of Washington for 9th place. So they would be in the little play-in weirdness that's going to take place at the end of the regular season. What I don't know is if you don't make the group of 8 out of the Eastern Conference, are you then in the lottery? I don't know. Good question, though. Sabonis, in his first game back in a while, had a triple-double in the first half Saturday night against the Thunder, a game that the Pacers won by 57. I think they led by 64 or 67. 67, because the Thunder closed on a 13-3 run. That's unbelievable. I mean, I know the Thunder suck. They're terrible. But the Pacers, without Brogdon, right, without Miles Turner, without T.J. Warren, they were really good. They scored a bunch of points, set their NBA record for points scored with 152. Pretty good. They were 21 of 33 from beyond the arc. That's really good. That's good shooting alone in a gym. Again, Brogdon out, only 9 games left in this regular season, which has also kind of been blah in all respects. Fans must mean more to the game than I ever thought. Maybe we've learned that through this COVID thing, because there's something missing. Like there's something about the NBA that's borderline unwatchable at this point. And I'm not into all the political stuff, so it's not about that. I'm not repulsed by the NBA players taking a stand politically. I don't find that objectionable. So it's not that. But watching an NBA game is kind of, halfway through, you're like, what am I doing? There's got to be something else on. Month of May, finally here. The last races before Indy races held this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Texas Motor Speedway. Scott Dixon won on Saturday. Pato O'Ward won yesterday at Texas. So now they come to Indy, and let's get going. Let's go racing, right? The Kentucky Derby was held Saturday, and of course I won. But it was a blind draw thing. I got 8. Medina Spirit, trained by Baffert. You always got to feel good about Baffert. But I supplied the prizes. And so I won, but I won my own prize. I can't do that. That's so my luck. And then we want to take a moment this morning and pay respects and think good thoughts for the people at Cathedral High School and the people at Hamilton Heights High School who are dealing with the deaths of two students who were on the way to the prom on Saturday late afternoon, about 5:30 at the corner of 281st and Lacey up in Arcadia. Two-way stop. They got T-boned by an SUV and both died. Landon Byram was a junior at Cathedral and Kalen Hart was a senior at Hamilton Heights. Just terrible news Saturday night, what should have been a wonderful night of fun and revelry and fellowship for those two students and their families wound up being tragic. And so our hearts go out to the people at Cathedral, and then our hearts go out to the people at Hamilton Heights as well as they deal with a terrible tragedy. Let's celebrate some birthdays on this Monday, May 3rd. The weather warming up, good. Saturday was a beautiful day for the Derby. Of course, it's a day when they couldn't welcome as many people as they normally would to Churchill Downs. James Mays, happy birthday. Sandy Lynn's Prince, happy birthday. The great Lisa Wall, celebrating a birthday. Judah Klein, happy birthday. And Domas Sabonis, turning 25 today. How about that? Happy birthday to Domas. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, you celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Today, inside Indiana Sports Now, we got to talk about sports, baby. It's what we do. Nothing but sports. All sports. You like sports? You like this? Let's go. Subscribe, like, ring the bell. We'll talk to you about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Cannot wait.